My daughter-in-law got promoted to regional marketing director. She took the whole family out to celebrate at some fancy steakhouse downtown, but guess what? She didn't invite me. Hours later, I get this text from her, Gary. Remember to winterize the sprinkler system tomorrow. Don't mess it up. I just typed back, okay? Then I quietly packed my tools and left. When they came stumbling home that night, drunk and happy, what they found inside left them speechless. I'm Gary Mitchell, 58 years old, and let me tell you how this whole mess started. So there I was, sitting in my garage at 9:45 p.m., staring at a bowl of instant chili I didn't even want. The place smelled like WD-40 and motor oil. You know how it is when you've been working with your hands all day. I'd spent hours fixing their garbage disposal, replacing some loose outlet covers, cleaning those gutters that never seemed to stay clean. My fingernails still had grease under them. My phone buzzes on the workbench. For a second, I'm thinking maybe it's my son Tyler, saying they saved me a seat at whatever fancy place they went to celebrate. But no, it's Madison, my daughter-in-law. Gary, remember to winterize the sprinkler system tomorrow. Don't mess it up. I read that message 3 times, just sat there looking at it. You know that feeling when something hits you wrong? That's what happened. Here I am eating dollar store chili alone while they're out blowing money on steaks that cost more than my weekly groceries. And she's giving me orders like I'm the maintenance guy. So I do something stupid. I open Instagram. There they are, all over social media. My son Tyler in his good shirt, the one I taught him to iron when he was 16. Madison in this tight red dress, grinning like she owns the world. My grandkids Kyle and Ashley eating shrimp cocktail bigger than their heads. Tyler's brother-in-law was there, Madison's sister, even her mother flew in from Phoenix. 9 people total, living it up. The caption says, "Celebrating my queen's promotion, regional marketing director at 31. Here's to women who never stop climbing." 247 likes in 30 minutes. You get the picture. I close the app, put the phone down, look at my chili getting cold. And here's the thing, I didn't get mad, I didn't yell or throw anything, I just got real quiet, real focused, like when you're troubleshooting a circuit and suddenly you see exactly what's been causing the short. I stood up slow, walked into the house, went up to my room, because what they didn't know, what nobody at that table full of expensive wine could imagine, is that I'd been getting ready for this moment for 6 months. This time, I wasn't going to fix their sprinklers. This time, I was going to disappear. And when they came home that night, what they'd find would change everything. But let me back up 3 years so you understand how a 58-year-old retired electrician who gave everything for his family ended up being treated like unpaid help. 3 years ago, I buried my wife, Carol. Breast cancer took her in 8 months, so fast I barely had time to wrap my head around it. Left me alone in our house in Riverside, this 2-story place where we raised Tyler, celebrated every birthday, every Christmas, every milestone you can think of. After the funeral, the quiet was killing me. Every room echoed with her being gone. Tyler shows up 3 weeks later with Madison, and he's got that look. You know, the one same face he made as a kid when he wanted something big. "Dad," he says while we're sitting in my kitchen, Madison and I are looking at houses. "We want something bigger for the kids. But this down payment is brutal." Madison's nodding, sipping coffee with those perfect coral fingernails. "The house we want is $195,000. We need $35,000 down, but we've only saved $18,000. They didn't have to spell it out. How much you need?" I asked. Tyler looks down at his hands. "If you sold this place, Dad, you could come live with us. You wouldn't be alone anymore. The kids would love having Grandpa around." Win-win situation. Madison gives me this practice smile. "It would be perfect, Gary. You could help with maintenance. You're so good with electrical and plumbing. We'd take care of each other like real family." That word, family. I signed the sale papers 5 weeks later. My house sold for $125,000. I gave Tyler the $35,000 for their down payment and kept $65,000 thinking it was my safety net. What I didn't do, and this still gets me, was put my name on their new house deed. Tyler said it wasn't necessary, that the house was for everyone. Why complicate the paperwork, Dad? And I trusted him like an old fool. The house was in Maple Grove Estates, one of those newer developments with the security gate, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2-car garage. Nice, modern, and about as warm as a refrigerator. First few months weren't too bad. I'd get up at 6 a.m., make coffee the way Tyler likes it, strong with just a splash of cream, check the paper, start breakfast, get Kyle and Ashley ready for school. Madison would blow out at 7:30, always dressed sharp in those business suits, hair perfect. She'd barely look at me on her way out. Tyler would leave 30 minutes later, sometimes giving me a quick thanks, Dad, without really making eye contact. And I'd stay behind, fixing whatever needed fixing. Because every evening when Madison came home, she had a list ready. "Gary, the kitchen faucet's dripping again. Gary, that outlet in the master bedroom is loose. Gary, the garage door opener's making that noise again." Never, Dad. Never would you mind helping with. Just Gary. And an order, like I was building maintenance. The kids loved me, though. That was real. Kyle would come running when he got home from school, wanting to help with whatever project I was working on in the garage. Ashley would sit on this little stool while I organized my tools, asking a million questions about how everything worked. But whenever Madison saw us together, her face would get all tight. One day, Ashley says, "Grandpa, you're the smartest person I know, way smarter than Mommy," right in front of Madison. That night, I hear shouting from their bedroom, "Your father is undermining my authority with my children, Tyler. He spoils them, fills their heads with nonsense about fixing things instead of focusing on their studies. He's my dad, Madison. He's just being a grandfather. Your dad or the free handyman who doesn't pay rent." Dead silence. I'm waiting for Tyler to defend me, to say something. Anything. But nothing. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't the helpful father-in-law anymore. I was the burden they put up with. Months went by, and the humiliation became routine. Madison would have her marketing friends over and introduce me as Tyler's dad who helps us maintain the house. They stopped including me in family photos. Last Christmas, when they're taking the family picture by the tree, Madison hands me her iPhone. "You've got steadier hands, Gary." So there I am standing behind that camera, watching my family smile like some Christmas card while I disappear. That photo's framed in their living room now. I don't appear anywhere in that house, like I'm invisible. But all that built-up stuff over 3 years was nothing compared to what happened that September night when I got that text about the sprinklers. It started that Thursday morning. Madison comes downstairs practically floating on air. She's wearing her Navy power suit, the one she saves for big presentations, and this smile that could light up the whole neighborhood. I got it. She announces as Tyler comes down behind her, messing with his tie. "Got what, Mommy?" Ashley asks from the breakfast table, syrup all over her chin. "I got promoted, sweetie. Mommy is now regional marketing director, youngest in the company's history." Tyler picks her up, spins her around. "I knew you'd get it. That position was made for you. I'm at the stove making scrambled eggs." "Congratulations, Madison," I say, and I mean it. Whatever problems we got, I don't wish the woman failure. She barely glances at me, "Thanks, Gary." Then right back to Tyler's arms. "We gotta celebrate big," Tyler says. "Like my wife deserves." Riverside Steakhouse, Madison suggests, her eyes lighting up. The one downtown with the city view. Money's no object tonight. Kyle raises his hand like he's in school. "Do I get to come?" "Of course, buddy. The whole family." My heart skips. The whole family, that includes me, right? I flip the eggs, wipe my hands on the dish towel. "What time should I be ready?" I ask casual-like. Madison looks at me like she forgot I was there. Ready for what? The family celebration dinner. Awkward silence. Tyler clears his throat. Madison gives him one of those married couple looks where they talk without words. "Oh no," Gary Madison says with this smile that never reaches her eyes. "It's intimate family only. My mom's flying in from Phoenix. My sister's coming." Direct bloodline. You know, those words hit me like touching a live wire. "I understand," I say, turning back to the stove even though the eggs are done. Besides, Madison keeps going, buttering her toast. Someone needs to stay with the house, right? Can't leave it empty. And you know that sprinkler system needs winterizing before the first freeze. "I'm sure you'll find something good to cook for yourself." Tyler says nothing. My son, the boy I taught to change a tire, to wire a ceiling fan, to be a man, just stares at his plate like those eggs are the most fascinating things he's ever seen. They all leave at 11 a.m. Madison changes outfits twice. The kids are excited in their Sunday clothes. Tyler gives me this quick pat on the shoulder, so automatic he doesn't even make eye contact. "Don't wait up, Dad. We'll probably be late," and they're gone. House falls dead quiet, except for the hum of the fridge and the tick of that kitchen clock. I walk through the living room with its leather furniture I helped pick out, through the dining room where I installed that chandelier myself, through the kitchen where I replaced every outlet and switch plate. Everything perfect, everything maintained, and me completely invisible. I make myself a bowl of instant chili and sit at the kitchen counter, not the dining room table. Help doesn't eat in the dining room. Right, 7 p.m. rolls around, and I make the mistake of checking Instagram. Madison's been posting all evening. Photo 1. Madison looking amazing in her red dress, holding champagne. Thanks everyone for the love and support. Photo 2. My grandkids with these massive plates of lobster and steak. Kyle giving thumbs up. Photo 3. The whole table, 9 people celebrating, laughing, toasting. I count them. Tyler Madison, Kyle, Ashley, Madison's mother, her sister, her brother-in-law, and 2 other people I don't recognize. Then mine people living it up while I eat 99-cent chili in a kitchen I rewired myself. Comments rolling in. You deserve it, Queen. Amazing family goals. Nobody asks where Grandpa is. Nobody notices someone's missing because I've been invisible for years. I close Instagram, wash my bowl, wipe down the counter. That's when my phone buzzes. Madison's text, Gary, remember to winterize the sprinkler system tomorrow. Don't mess it up. I stare at those words and something inside me just dies. But at the same time, something else wakes up. I walk out to the garage, look at that sprinkler control panel I installed myself. All those zones, all that automation I spent weeks getting perfect. Don't mess it up. I close the garage door, take a deep breath and type back. Okay, 2 letters. That's it. But in those 2 letters was a decision that'd been building for months. So I go to my room, dig around behind these old electrical manuals in my closet. Wrapped in a plastic shopping bag is my documentation folder. Everything's in there. Every receipt, every work log, every proof of payment from the past 3 years. I flip through those pages like I'm reading my life story in receipts. August 2021. Down payment on house, $35,000 September 2021. New HVAC system because theirs was shot $4,800 October 2021. Deck construction materials and my labor, $3,200 November 2021. Basement finishing so the kids could have a play area, $14,500. The list goes on and on. New water heater when theirs leaked all over the garage floor, $900. Electrical panel upgrade because the old one was a fire hazard, $1,800. Garage door and opener, $800 kitchen appliance package because Madison wanted everything to match, $2,400. Then there's the monthly stuff. See, Tyler could only afford $450 per month on his warehouse supervisor salary, but the actual mortgage payment was $980. Guess who's been paying that extra $530 every single month for 36 months? That's right, me, from my $1,200 electrician's pension. I do the math on the back page. Down payment and improvements, $52,000. Monthly mortgage contributions, $530 times $36 months equals $1,980. Tools, materials, odds and ends, $4,500 total invested. $75,580, $75,580. Most of what I got from selling the house Carol and I built together over 25 years, invested in a place where they treat me like the help. But here's the kicker, the real prize at the bottom of that folder. The original property deed, yellowed but official. I pull it out with shaking hands. Clear as day, it says. Property located at 1247 Oakwood Drive, Maple Grove Estates. Owner, Gerald Mitchell, my name. Only my name. When we bought the house, the real estate lawyer suggested putting it in my name first since I was providing the full down payment. You can always transfer it later, Mr. Mitchell, but this protects your investment up front. Tyler agreed. Makes sense, Dad. We'll handle the paperwork later. But later never came. He'd mention it here and there the first few months. We should get to that deed transfer, Dad, but there was always something more urgent. Basketball practice for Kyle, dance lessons for Ashley Madison's work projects. Eventually he stopped asking, and I never reminded him. Call it instinct, call it luck, but some part of me held onto that deed like a life preserver. I put everything back in the folder, but I don't pack it yet. First, I take out my phone and call a number I saved months ago. Hello, sharp professional voice. Stephanie, it's your Uncle Gary. Uncle Gary, what a surprise.
How are you?
Stephanie Woods is my late brother's daughter. Family lawyer went through a nasty divorce that made her tough as nails in court. Smart as a whip, too. I need your help, kiddo. It's urgent. Can you meet me tomorrow morning? Of course. Uncle Gary, you sound different. Is everything okay? I'm about to be okay. For the first time in 3 years, I'm about to be just fine. But I need legal advice about my house. Your house? I thought you lived with Tyler and Madison. Exactly. That's why I'm calling. I explain everything in 20 minutes. The investment, the deed, the treatment, that text about sprinklers. When I finish, Stephanie lets out this low whistle. Uncle Gary, are you telling me that house is entirely in your name and they don't know it? That's right. And you have documentation of every dollar you've put in, every receipt, every bank transfer, every work order. My office, 8 a.m. sharp. Bring everything. Next call goes to Trevor Barnes, the notary who handled Carol's estate and the house purchase. Mr. Mitchell, it's late. Everything all right. Trevor, I need to review some property documents tomorrow about asserting my ownership rights. Are Tyler and Madison giving you problems? You could say that. My office, 10 a.m. and Gary, I warned you about that deed transfer back then. Sometimes it pays to listen to your lawyer. Last call is the hardest. Nicole Carter, my neighbor from the old house, widowed 2 years before me. Good woman, Gary. Why are you calling so late? Nicole, is that spare bedroom still available for rent? Silence. Then, what happened? I can't be invisible anymore. Can't keep fixing things for people who see me as free labor. You come whenever you want, Gary. I'll be waiting. It's 11:30 p.m. now. According to Instagram, they're still at that steakhouse having dessert and after-dinner drinks. Some $25 chocolate thing that probably costs more than my weekly groceries. I figure I got maybe 2 hours before they stumble home. I start packing, but not everything. Just my tools, my clothes, my photos of Carol, everything that's truly mine. Because here's what I learned in these 3 years, minus they got used to treating my stuff like community property. But there's one more thing to pack. I open my workbench drawer and take out this small digital recorder I bought 6 months ago at Radio Shack. Best $45 I ever spent. See, when you become invisible, people talk around you like you're not there. I captured 17 conversations over the past months. Madison on the phone with her sister. It's like having live-in maintenance. He fixes everything, watches the kids when I need him to, and I don't have to pay him or give him vacation days. Madison and Tyler arguing in their bedroom. Your dad's getting in the way, Tyler. Every time the kids respect him more than me, it makes me look weak. When he gets too old to be useful, we'll look into assisted living options. Madison with her marketing friends in the living room. You have no idea how convenient this is. My father-in-law handles all the household maintenance so I can focus on climbing the corporate ladder. That's how I got this promotion, 0 domestic distractions. 17 recordings where they talked about me like a useful appliance that would eventually need replacing. I copy everything to a USB drive and email backups to myself. Then I load my truck with my tools and personal stuff. 1 duffel bag of clothes, my toolbox, my photos, and that deed folder. 1:15 a.m. and I'm ready. I leave a note on Tyler's nightstand. Son, for 3 years I've lived in this house as unpaid maintenance staff. I fixed, cleaned, maintained, and swallowed orders without complaint. Tonight, while you celebrated and texted me commands about sprinklers, I made a decision. I won't be the ghost of this family anymore. Check the deed. We'll discuss this with lawyers present. I've loved you your whole life, but love doesn't mean letting you walk all over me, Dad. I leave the property deed on Madison's pillow with a yellow sticky note. This house is in my name. It always was. $75,588 is invested. See you at the lawyer's office. I drive away at 1:30 a.m. In my rearview mirror, that house I helped buy and maintain disappears into darkness. And you know what? I don't feel sad. I feel free. When they got home at 2 a.m., drunk and happy, they find an empty garage where my truck used to be. Empty spaces where my tools had been organized, an empty room where I'd been invisible for 3 years. Kyle told me later that Tyler read my note 3 times before it sank in. Madison saw that deed and went white as a sheet. They called my phone 47 times that night. I'd already blocked their numbers. Next morning, Stephanie and I built our legal strategy. By noon, Tyler gets a formal notice. Gerald Mitchell, legal owner of 1247 Oakwood Drive, requires the presence of Tyler Mitchell and Madison Foster Mitchell at the office of Notary Trevor Barnes to resolve matters of property and occupancy. They show up looking like they aged 10 years in 2 days. Tyler can't make eye contact. Madison looks like someone yanked the rug out from under her executive confidence. Dad, Tyler starts, we can work this out. Your family. Family, I say, is built on respect, son, not blood and obligation. Stephanie lays out the options real clear. Immediate eviction. They got 30 days to vacate. Full buyout for $75,580 within 90 days. Or a 60-40 split with Tyler keeping 40% ownership and me retaining 60%. They could pay me $650 per month for my share, or I could rent my portion to tenants of my choosing. You want us to live with strangers? Madison asks, finally finding her voice. I want you to understand what it feels like to share your space with people you didn't choose, I tell her. I want you to learn about saying please and thank you instead of giving orders. Tyler chooses the split. Smart move. They couldn't come up with $75,000 if their lives depended on it. 3 weeks later, Jennifer Lane moves in with her 2 kids. Jennifer's an elementary school teacher, 45 years old, respectful woman who's grateful for decent housing she can afford. Her son Shane is 16, helps me with projects in the garage. Her daughter Brittany is 12, does homework with Ashley at the kitchen table. Here's the beautiful part. Jennifer's kids call me Mr. Gary and actually say thank you when I fix something. Mr. Gary, thank you for fixing my bike chain. Mr. Gary, thank you for showing me how to use the drill. Basic manners Madison never bothered teaching her own kids. Madison has to share her perfect kitchen now, share her living space, share her controlled environment, and she hates every minute of it, but she keeps her mouth shut because she knows one complaint from me and they're out on the street. Tyler and I started going to therapy every Thursday, family counseling with Dr. Martinez downtown. First session was rough. We both cried like babies. But slowly, we're rebuilding what got broken. Tyler's learning to stand up for himself, learning that keeping peace isn't worth sacrificing family. I let her walk all over you, Dad. He told me during our 4th session, I was so scared of fighting with Madison that I threw you under the bus. That's not the man you raised me to be. Madison pays me $650 every month now, like clockwork. And here's the thing, she's learned to say please when she needs electrical work done. Gary, would you please look at the outlet in Kyle's room? It's like training a dog, but hey, progress is progress. I live 10 minutes away now in Nicole's spare bedroom. Pay her $400 a month for rent, help around her place too, but as a friend, not unpaid labor. I see my grandkids every weekend. They come to Nicole's garage where I set up my workshop. Kyle's learning to use hand tools properly. Ashley's building a birdhouse for her mom. You should see their faces when they're working with their hands, learning how things actually work instead of just pushing buttons all day. That's something Madison's corporate world can't teach them. The other day, Kyle asks me, "Grandpa, why did you leave?" Sometimes, buddy, I tell him while we're sanding that birdhouse, when people stop treating you with respect, you have to remind them that you matter. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I love myself too. Smart kid, that Kyle. He nods like he gets it. Madison's different now too. Still proud, still ambitious, but she's learned some humility. Last month, she actually asked my advice about the water pressure in the upstairs bathroom. Asked, not demanded. And when I fixed it, she said thank you. Actually looked me in the eye when she said it. Jennifer told me Madison broke down crying one night, talking about how she grew up poor, and when she finally got successful, she became exactly what she used to hate, the employers who treated her mother badly when she cleaned houses. I was so scared the kids would love you more than me, Madison admitted to Tyler during one of their arguments I accidentally overheard. So I treated you like competition instead of family. Tyler's getting stronger too. Just last week he told Madison, "That's my father you're talking about." He deserves respect in this house. First time in 3 years I heard him defend me. That text about winterizing sprinklers was the best thing that ever happened to me. It woke me up to something I should have known all along. Respect isn't automatic because you're family. It's earned through boundaries and consequences. People ask me if I regret it, if I feel bad about what I put them through. Here's my answer. Love without respect isn't love, it's habit, and bad habits need breaking. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is refuse to be taken for granted anymore. Sometimes you gotta disappear to be seen. These days, when I walk into that house for Sunday dinner, Madison stands up and says, "Hi Gary, thanks for coming." The kids hug me like they missed me. Tyler looks me in the eye when we talk. I'm not invisible anymore, and I'm never going back to being a ghost in my own life. The hardest lesson I learned at 58 years old is this. When you let people treat you like you're disposable, you start believing you are. But the moment you stand up and say enough, you remember what you're actually worth. They say blood is thicker than water, but respect is thicker than blood. Without respect, family is just people who happen to share your last name, and that's not enough to build a life on.